Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Community Report. I am Dari Idu. No doubt, Lagos has water in abundance. Water bodies and wetlands cover over 40% of the total land area of the state, with lagoons and creeks covering 20%. But to get water in right places sometimes can be very difficult. Many communities in Lagos are experiencing water shortages. Access to clean water is very low, with the majority of the residents relying on wells, bowls, rivers, and rainwater. On this episode of the program, we spotlight the state's efforts in channeling its water right for public use and safety. We also touched base with one of the many communities in need of potable water. In 2020, 74% of the global population had access to safely managed drinking water services. Up from 70% in 2015, still 2 billion people live without safely managed drinking water services, including 1.2 billion people lacking even a basic level of service in 2020. Access to safe water, sanitation and hygiene is the most basic human need for health and well-being. Urban population growth, especially in a city like Lagos, comes at a cost, and public water supply is one area affected. Lagos Lagoon is the largest of 4 lagoon systems off the Gulf of Guinea. Several rivers and waterways empty into it, and it plays an important role in the West African coastal ecosystem. The state's economy is also tied to it. Many communities in Lagos are experiencing water shortages. Access to clean water is very low, with the majority of the residents relying on wells, bowls, rivers, and rainwater. The city of Lagos taps its water from both surface and groundwater resources within the state. Even though Lagos seems to have sufficient water resources in terms of quantity, considering the amount of rainfall it receives, there are several rivers that pass through it and the multi-layer aquifers underlying it. A lot of Lagos residents are still without potable water. One of the reasons for water scarcity is the high population growth, but if you dig deeper, especially with repeated efforts to revive the moribund public water system in the state, you're likely to find many issues including ruptured pipes, drying water source, and epileptic power supply, among others.
This is a city of over 20 million people consuming averagely, let's be a bit moderate. Let's assume 80 liters per day. Or let's even say 50 liters per day. But it will be more like 100 if you have adequacy of potable water. Multiply 100 liters per day per capita times 20. Let's leave the extra 2 or 5 million population. That's about 2 billion liters of water being used every day by Lagosians. And this water does not disappear. It becomes used, becomes dirty, becomes heavily polluted. It gets dumped into the environment, untreated. So that is a big challenge. Well, we could say we have soak-away septic tanks. Yes, they are a form of treatment, but they are not effective in a megacity setting like Lagos, right? Because a soak-away is supposed to, a septic tank is supposed to hold the wastewater for like 24 hours to allow the microbes in the wastewater eat up the organic load and the nutrients. As it's eating up these nutrients, it gets bigger, it settles to the bottom of the tank. While the effluent at the top will flow into the soak-away system, where it's supposed to go into the ground through a sand layer to filter out the remaining impurities. That is the system for a septic tank soak-away system. But Lagos is a coastal area. We have some parts of Lagos that have high water table. So that there is not enough layer of humus sand to allow filtration to take place. to remove the remaining dirt in the effluent that's coming out from the septic tank. So it's a major challenge for you to now have this contraption all over the state. That means our aquifers are being indirectly polluted.
There are also a link between waste management and water supply, as seen in some communities.
In Lagos, we have there's an office in the state called Lagos State Wastewater Management Office. Their job is to put together, the necessary processes and infrastructures that would ensure that this wastewater gets treated. So it is, it's what they are really handling. But the biggest challenge right now is that even with the septic tank that we have existing, most people, majority, still discharge their raw waste into the environment. Ask me why. The drain along the road in front of the tenement is meant for rainwater. But even when there is no rain, have you ever seen any drain go dry?
I would have thought that it's because people channel.
That's why I said people have channeled their wastewater into the drain. Not just their kitchen waste or their bathroom waste or whatever. Even some people have found a way ingeniously to let their effluent from the septic tank into the drain. That's why you see, you can sometimes in some even affluent areas, you perceive fecal odor, the odor of waste in the atmosphere. You see a lot of algal growth in the drain because the drain is being nurtured with nutrient-rich water. So these are the telltale signs of discharge of wastewater into the environment untreated.
The water crisis is a challenge residents have had to deal with for a long time. With less than 20% of the population having access to public supply, the option for many is to dig a borehole. We visited this community in Lagos where the residents have a peculiar problem.
Before 2001, when we came here, we had very clean, good crystal water. People that had well, because that was what was in vogue that time. There was nothing like borehole.
And that's why you see
Because that's why we still have this, because the water was very clean. But during Fashola regime, this pit by Larry Buster was converted to Lagos State dump site. So all the refuse and debris was not dumped here. Before we knew it, our clean and crystal water started changing over time. So they discovered that we cannot use our water. And those also that try to dig borehole condemn more than 2 boreholes to get water. The water is so smelly, so foamy, and very, very acidic that you can't even wash or even flush your toilet. So that's the beginning of the water crisis we have in Igondo, Newtown, especially the Woduni city that is situated at the back of the dump site. So we, the neighborhood that are close, we are the receiving effect of the impact of this dump site. This is how we were doing it. Even also another big issue here is that we also put pumping machine because of the acidic nature of the water. You'll be changing pumping machine maybe about 3 times in a year. That's the resultant effect. So you have to resort to using this traditional way of fetching water to get water. And the funny thing is that when you get the water, you can't use it. Even the odor, the smell, it will put you off. Okay, it's coming up. 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 Maybe can you to flush your toilet? Even if you flush your toilet, you still leave a mark behind your WC. This one is a little bit cleaner because we have not fetched it for a very long time. This is what you pump every day. The odor and the color changes totally to brown and foamy. And also even when rainy season starts, another issue is that since the water will be washed, not the chemical, the pollution of the water is also increased at that period during rainy season. This was when the water was very good. We pumped to the tank to use it. If you look at carefully, the tank is dirty because of the color or the dirty water that turned the color of the tank to brown, which is the color of the water you get from the borehole or the well.
So is there water in there?
No, there's no water for now. So when we have special occasion, we have to use tank, buy water from water tanker to put. Yeah, in an attempt to get water, I think along the line, the Lagos State Water Corporation came on their own, knowing the challenge of the community that we needed water, decided to market the residents, introducing their product of activating a Gondo mini water works at Iron Market here, not too far from this place. So when they came, because we needed water urgently and seriously, we bought into their product and they came. So the piping was done and some of us bought into it. I think it was 15,000 to connect. And the product was good because it is a prepaid, it comes with prepaid meter. You pay as you use. So everyone that connected, prepaid is attached. So at the end of the month, they come with a bill and you pay what you have used. So it worked for 7 months. And it was good because it was a relief to so many people in the community. But suddenly, we noticed there was a downtrend. So instead of getting water 3 times in a week, it was now once in a week. We found out what was the problem. Discovered that they were having issue with their light. So Ikeja Undertaking and Water Corporation will have an issue. They couldn't offset their bill, so Ikeja had to cut off their light. A time came, they were able to connect back. They started giving us water. So a time came, they just stopped in the name of overhauling and maintenance. So we're giving several assurances. During the Euro tide, there'll be water. For 3 years going now, we have not seen Lagos State water in this vicinity. And that added to more water hardship and water scarcity in this environment.
When we came here, there were initial water works that people depended on. It was known to some extent. But the CDA chairman saw to it that water should reach everywhere and call these water resources people from the corporation. And they came here, had meeting, they gave us forms to fill, which we did, and everybody went to work. And we paid some, I can't remember how much I paid now, I think it's over 20,000 naira that I paid for the pipe to be laid to my house. I bought pipes. Pipe was laid to my house. I enjoyed it for some days. They will pump water in 3 days or so. We were happy. We used that water for at least 3 days too, because my tank was a big one. At a point in time, things stopped coming completely. So these are the problems we are going through. As a nation, we are not supposed to be going through this. Ordinary water, no. Lagos for that matter too. I'm proud to be in Lagos, but this I'm seeing is not good.
So these are the people who supply water in the neighborhood?
That one you see now is 1,000 naira plus. Anywhere he's taking it to is 1,000 plus. They get it from individual houses. Those who sank borehole purposely for sale.
Thank you.
Mrs. Odueko is one of the first settlers in this community.
I know when I first moved there, the place was more or less in a bush. That was December 1994. You can calculate it. And all these houses were built in my presence, yes. The place was very peaceful, with just a few houses around. Two at Bintu Bolajoko there, but they were occupied by tenants. That by that time, I was the first landlady to reside here. The place that they now turned into Bola used to be a good fertile land. The first thing I did here, because there was no light and nothing, and no water. The well we dug was very, very good. The water was as if there was even sugar being poured into it, very sweet. Not until they started digging problems into that place. By the time they started, the government decided that they are going to use it for their refuge dump. They ruined everything in this area, water-wise, and no provision was made to substitute it. This was the first borehole I dug. It was of no use. I had to go down to the other plot to dig other boreholes. So the boreholes I'm using now are from the other plot. So if I didn't have a extra plot to use, I would have been stranded without water. After some time, we complained bitterly about the boiler because it used to stink and everything. Somehow they put that under control, but that doesn't stop the erosion or the degradation of the water. It was terribly. It's not only of course I'm the nearest to it, but I think it affected right down for a long period, not only mine. We complained bitterly. I think we wrote so many letters to, what do they call them? Lawman or whatever it is, that they should do something about it. If you look outside, you can see what has happened to the place. It has been a source of problems. And up till now, I can't see any effort of the government in doing something about the boiler, or fencing it, or even making it a safer place for people to stay. Now, a few years ago, Water Corporation now came. I went to the office. I paid for the thing, for supply. You can see their meter there. Eventually, I bought their meter, another 10,000. I paid, I think, over 10,000 at the office. And we only got water for 3 or 4 months. After that, nothing, up to today. Apart from this water treatment tanks, I also use those small ones. Even right down to my house, to the house. That if you go there, that you sit under my sink, and under the one I use for washing clothes. But I do get clear water, but I can't still drink it. Up to now, I still drink water I buy from the outside. First of all, left to me, I think the government, they should not, if they are going to get a real solution to that boiler, they can't give it to to the community to do, or give them money to do it. Let the government take it up for itself, because it will need a lot of sinking. They have to sink some concrete down there to make it strong, because when they were digging the thing, they dug it right down, even under the road. If you can go and say, in the process of doing or filling it up, even at one stage, one of the people, what do you call this, caterpillar that was pushing the dirt, the caterpillar rolled over with the driver. The driver died, to show how it was, how deep inside it was. So if anything is going to be done on that area, the government has to sit up on it and do it himself. Get a good civil engineer to do the work.
The dump site. Yeah, the dump site.
If the dump site is taken care of, there will be less problem for infection and every other thing. The water works is just, the water works is to me is just a gimmick. Because I don't know. It's like any other thing that is in Nigeria. how long ago did you hear about Airways, Nigerian Airways? How long ago did you hear about Nitel? How long ago did you hear about NEPA? Or now whatever it is. They are all commissioned out.
There are many waterworks in different parts of Lagos, including Ikeja, Surulere, Onikan, Epe, Ikorodu, Victoria Island, Lekki, Ikoyi, Igando, Badore, Ikate, Apapa, and other areas. We stopped by at the much talked about mini waterworks at Igando, deserted and locked.
As far as concerned, I think some times ago we were here with our former chairman, that is Pastor Chris Oyakilome, and we were able to go around. The equipment were shown to us at that time that they are trying to put things in order, that the machines and the equipment are somehow that they need to fix, and we are giving that assurance that they will put things in shape. And as at that time, they came to our community with their edge, telling us that okay, the equipment are fixed, they are in shape now, that any moment from now that they will start, bringing in water. But after some time, they now came back and said that most of the pipe, they discovered that most of the pipe are already broken, so they had to go around and look at those areas so that they can fix it back, which they did. And they now came back and said, if you are interested for the public water, that they are ready. So they went around. If you are interested, then they give you form, you fill, and then after that has been done, the water just came for only a few months, and the water has ceased to come since that should be, I'm talking about 2018, 2019, up to this date now. There's no any supply of water.
So it does seem like this place is not functional.
Yeah, the way even they said to us the other time that they are owing NEPA. They are owing NEPA. So as a result of that, they cannot operate. A lot of people paid at that time, but none of them have been seeing water. Some, even at a point in time, they were bringing, there's a, what do you call it? Meter that they mounted with the distance. So they will come, they will look at the meter. Sometimes some people pay as far as 20,000, 25,000, 15,000, and the water has ceased forthcoming since that time. So we are appealing to our Lagos State government to come to our rescue, because it was due to the bad, the boiler that causes the problem that we're facing in this environment. So we believe that we thought coming to this place again, I will be able to see the facilitator to talk with, but getting here we saw that the gate is sealed up. Nobody was around to talk to.
There are several public health concerns attached to water crisis, but water sanitation are not only critical elements in public health, but also bolstering sustainable development and economic growth. That's our show for today. If you miss any part of it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. You can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dari Idowu. See you next time, and bye for now.